Hey, welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This time we're going to finish off the trial and finish off the episode and finally catch the culprit, the true culprit of this case. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. It claims that the scene of the crime was in fact Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. No pun intended. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I'm a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it while I'm not here. Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder. Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 sharp. It ended at 4. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later, and we all went to Studio 1. That's all. I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you. The van. There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, with that monkey's head toppling over. I see. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it. Okay. Let's just press everything. I don't want to miss anything. This is the last trial. By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop in the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop being on your little desk. It hurts my ears. And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5. I would think it was between those times. You would think. Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Cell take me to in the Studio 2 van. Oh, right. Yeah, this is all stuff we know. And what were you doing during that time? Don't hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops. It was a 15-minute break. Do you have someone who can verify this? Sal. No, I mean someone else. One person is enough. If she committed a murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proved she didn't eat that steak. Well, Nick, find anything? I kind of wish she said a little more. It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said somewhere. Okay, I think it's the steak part, because there were no bones on the plate, right? Did we actually add that to our court record, though? Yeah, I don't think so. It's a large bone. This is the one in the employee area. Do you think that would work? Let's try it. Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate. This plate was on the table in the employee room. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manila ate at the table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You didn't eat the steak. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere. Like that incinerator. I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Picking on Salmonella, I love that. She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order. Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I. Any day, Vasquez. Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear. Yes? I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I think you could. You couldn't, could you? I don't know. Let's see. Because it broke, maybe... Yeah, maybe you should just use like half of it. I think you could. It's not impossible. Well, maybe it's not impossible, but... Silence. I'm speaking. Oh, Edgeworth getting put in his place. The victim was stabbed through the chest from the front, yes? I believe this would indicate that the victim was aware of the killer's presence. Now, the Steel Samurai's costume is a bit light and mobile. Compared to the victim, I am weaker and slower. I couldn't possibly win such a fight, not to mention, there is proof I did not have the spear. The photograph of the samurai shows that the victim himself was holding it. Or do you mean to suggest that I could have wrested away from him. Yeah, take that, right. If you still think she did it, show us proof. Hey Nick, look at the data we have on that samurai spear in the court record. Isn't there something that gets to you? Something odd about the samurai spear. Wait. Something the matter, right? Sorry, Your Honor. I'd like to take back my previous claim. Very well. I won't hold you to your claim, but I'm afraid I will have to penalize you. What's this? You're taking back your claim? Let's backtrack for a moment. I want to consider whether this witness could have used the samurai spear or not. However, that has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon. Ah, so I shouldn't have said that she could. I should have said she couldn't, huh? What's the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. Okay. So it was broken, so she couldn't do it. Break in the shaft. The thing again? I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that the spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing thick costume with this through the chest? Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence! I'm the one testifying here and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell what was. How was Hammer killed? Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer? I want to say it's probably like the fence then. Probably the fence then. He like died the same way. Yeah, it's the fence. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell what the weapon was? I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see this murder weapon then. This one. Look at this photo. What's this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing on top of the stairs. Order! Order! If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about? This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in the photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago? Has happened again. Mr. Wright, continue. It's 4:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Oh, 2:30 p.m. Miss D. Vasquez met Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs into the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true. Mr. Wright, Let's say, for the sake of the argument, the hammer died the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned the trailer all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jackhammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time. Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt the body? I bet she moved it away. She had another way. She couldn't deal with it. She had her, mafia crew. Couldn't she have had them done it? Had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than her own hands? Yeah, I think maybe she put it in the van, right? Or something like that. For instance, actually, for that matter, there was no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. There was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then. Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body. Yeah, I think she probably carried it with the van. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. There was a van there, right? I had Sal drive me. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Sal Manella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? Of course he was, of course he wasn't. Was he? I'm not sure about this. Yes? Of course Salmonella had been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into costume. There was no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? That was fast. So what happens next? Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, so you mean... D. Vasquez, so it was you. You killed Jack Hammer. Who can say? Huh? Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. And the results of that battle? You proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What? What? Order. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts. Of course, it's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it, but, there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do I do now? No further questions, Vasquez. Testify again. You did it, Vasquez. Testify again? Then? Or you did it? I don't know, like, they're so vague. I don't know what will result. If I... You did it. Miss Vasquez, you did it. That wasn't a question. Did you do it? No. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I'm not sure if that question helped this court get closer to a verdict. What do I do now? Testify again. I'd like you to testify again. Testify again? Know when to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. A waste of time. Down. Down! To come so far, only to fail. As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
Objection!
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. Oh, you're funny, Edgeworth. I see. Very well. Your Honor, I request that the witness testify again. Nice! We're on the same team now. You're the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm your witness. I just want to hear your testimony again. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honor? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes. Mr. Edgeworth, I too see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about? Well, yes, indeed. Verily, I say, ergo, I want to hear about what happened after they found the body. After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter. Nick. Why did Edgeworth? Who knows? He probably realized she did it too. But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that, Edgeworth. I was with Sal and Obag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too, only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Obag, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close. Real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. What time was that? We were to meet at 5 for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manila arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't stuffing any bodies into costumes, mind you. Okay, let's press it. I mean, what harm could it do, right? Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Sal Manila's help. Oh? What did I just say? Did I not just say I wasn't stuffing any bodies into any costumes? You should try to listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy? The witness will continue her testimony. Mr. Powers was taking a nap, correct? So he says. Did no one go to call him? Remember. Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us, yet you expect me to be calm? You certainly seem calm enough when I accuse you of murder. Very compressed, whatever. Wait a second. Wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around. You discovered a murdered body, and one person was missing, right? Wouldn't you normally go looking for the missing person? Have to agree with the defense on this one. Well, Miss Vasquez? Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. We often left him on the bus when shooting our location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers. Oh, well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue. What was everyone doing at the time? No one said a thing. It was silent, completely silent. So we stood there until Powers finally arrived on the scene. Sorry I'm late. Then, silence. Dead silence. Silent. Hey, Nick. Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. Oldback, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Powers had done it? She said because she saw him going towards the studio. Right, the steel samurai. Did the detective arrest Mr. Powers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seemed to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, I heard all this after the fact. That photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to Hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. You asked to be left out? Yes, it seemed that everyone else was questioned, and I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you. Or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot riding on it, with all those big wigs at the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped her convince everyone they didn't require questioning. The script and your direction notes? Yes, they were quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio 1 for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh yeah, I guess. Very well, Miss Vasquez, please continue. Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Huh? Think. Miss Vasquez said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going into Studio 1. Yep. Order. Mr. Edgeworth. What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Or are you thinking of a career change to defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Miss Vasquez, you have an explanation. I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. Huh. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew the hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left them behind. Hammer was injured. How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal the director. Huh. We have to find something to peg this on her here, or everything we've done till now will have been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get him. So it shouldn't be Hammer, it should be Will Powers that was injured, right? That's probably a translation error. But also, like, she couldn't have known, Sal probably couldn't have known. Which one says that he was hurt? This? Objection! You knew that Hammers was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. Oh, so that was a mistake on purpose. Okay. It was Will Powers. Oh, okay, that was done on purpose. I see. She said the wrong name. Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammers. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammers who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manila was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. But would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, you saw Hammer limping. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg, too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah. And when was he doing this? Well, it would have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order! Order! I will have order. Witness. Can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. You would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on this matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? Yes, I can. Okay, I have proof and I'll show it to you. Present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's murder. Motive to this murder. It's gotta be this. Gotta be this. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bring us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was a constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We're talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for the murder. Maybe she had no murder, it was self-defense. Right? At least I don't have any evidence that could say that she directly had a motive. She had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. Oh, what's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. What? What? Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Power with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him for all these years. Ah! So, you did it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance. There's blood everywhere. We're too late. Ah, Miss Vasquez. What happened here? Manuel fell down from the trailer stairs. Manuel. Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No, how could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing action scene and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. No! Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again. Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. I thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, not guilty. Woohoo! Woo! That is all. The court is adjourned. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. I'm just glad you're okay. Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to frame me for murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright. Huh? Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me? Show evidence? Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... He was probably jealous that, you know, he was a star and he wanted to, like, become the star and replace him afterwards, probably. It's because you were the Steel Samurai. Because I was the Steel Samurai? Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kids' show, and as a villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you. I think I understand. You could have just told me. I would have changed places with him any time. I think you're missing the point. Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over. So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP. Oh? Oh, haha. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume, and... Is something wrong? No, of course not. Ah. Nick, Edgeworth. Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk. Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth. You don't waste any time gloating, do you? No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers. Liar! Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years. Meet again? However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings. Unnecessary feelings? Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of unnecessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright. Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Mr. Wright? Is this guy your friend? What? Friends? As if. They're rivals. Rivals, right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me. What's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtains close on another trial. It caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. It went back to making kids' show again. Ooh, the Pink Princess! Nick, this is it! The new show starts today. You're going to watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy the trading cards too, okay? You have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I don't know. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. Alright, so that is the end of episode 3, Turnabout Samurai. It was a really good episode, once again. I think the culprit this time, D. Vasquez, was not as despicable as some of the other ones, because it seemed like it was self-defense, and what happened 5 years ago, like, she wasn't so evil, like, she was gonna cover it up with whatever means necessary. It seemed like she really did care about the person who died, and she was genuinely sad. Um, so, I mean, I think she'll be okay, her and the, what's his name? Salmonella, since they did produce another, or direct another show, and that was, Sal's idea, and it was self-defense, so I'm sure, like, she probably didn't get too bad. But anyways, we will continue this series in the next episode, and it'll be Turnabout Goodbyes. So I heard that this is actually the last episode in the original Japanese version of the game, but once it's localized in America, they added another episode after this, so this will be like the second to last. Anyways, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate that. Thanks for watching.